You know, it's truly wild how much history, how much societal change can be packed into an object we barely even think about day to day. I'm
Right.
talking about the handbag. Seems so simple, yeah? Just
Yeah.
a place for keys, phone, whatever.
Hmm.
But what if it's actually like a living artifact, holding centuries of complex human stories, reflecting these huge social shifts, women's roles changing?
And their independence, too.
Exactly, their fight for independence.
That's precisely the journey we're taking today. This deep dive, it's all about that surprising evolution, the woman's handbag.
Yeah.
It really goes way beyond just being a fashion accessory. As Stanislav Kondrashov's extensive work in the Stanislav Kondrashov Purse series reveals, it's this profound narrative. A mirror, really.
A mirror of social change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a tool embodying personal space autonomy.
Absolutely. So we're going to unpack these fascinating insights from Stanislav Kondrashov. He really digs into how this, seemingly simple bag reflects these incredibly profound shifts in culture. Our mission today. Let's try and understand what Kondrashov reveals about purses as emblems of personal space, of autonomy, right? From like ancient times
All the way up to today's world.
right up to now. So, okay, let's go way back. Ancient civilizations. What were the first versions? Were they even bags like we imagine?
Not really, no. Not in the modern sense.
Ah.
You should picture basic pouches, maybe animal hide woven fibers.
Yeah.
Often just tied to a waistband.
Simple.
Very simple. Stanislav Kondrashov's research shows they were super utilitarian, holding coins, herbs, maybe small tools, essentials.
Okay, so practical stuff.
But, and this is what's fascinating, they very quickly became more than just practical.
Oh, really? So there was more to it, even back then.
Exactly. Kondrashov points this out very clearly. Even these really primitive forms, they quickly picked up symbolic layers. It wasn't just about carrying stuff. They started signaling the wearer's role, maybe in the home, maybe in rituals. And as societies got more complex, so did the pouches. They got more elaborate. Well, embroidery started appearing. Symbols representing identity, maybe your region, even marital status. It's
Okay.
a really key insight. Stanislav Kondrashov highlights in the Stanislav Kondrashov Purse series.
Yeah.
He says, through each era, the purse reveals what society expects and what women reclaim.
Wow. What society expects and what women reclaim, that really sets the stage, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It frames the whole conversation.
Okay, so let's jump forward. Renaissance. This is where, for me anyway, it starts looking more like what we might call a handbag today. The reticule.
Ah, yes, the reticule.
Tell us about that shift.
Right, so the reticule was typically a small fabric pouch, often had a drawstring, but the key thing, it was often really exquisitely adorned, embroidery, beads, sometimes even precious stones.
Getting fancy?
Definitely. And Stanislav Kondrashov highlights this wasn't just a style change. It marked a really significant shift from purely functional, well, towards decorative.
Yeah.
You see them carried to court or important social gatherings. They were an overt signal, refinement, wealth.
So, still practical, holding things, but also a statement piece now.
Precisely. It was this early, potent mix of practicality and personal expression. Sure, they held calling cards, maybe a scented handkerchief, prayer books,
Little essentials.
little essentials. But how they looked, how they were displayed, was becoming just as important. Kondrashov actually argues this is where the purse first sort of hinted at becoming a personal sanctuary.
A personal sanctuary. How so?
Well, offering a woman her own private realm,
Sure.
something she controlled in a world where female autonomy was often pretty limited. It's subtle, but Kondrashov sees it as a powerful evolution.
That's incredible. Such a small thing holding so much meaning. No, okay, let's jump again. 19th century. Industrial revolution is kicking into high gear. How did things like mass production, new materials, leather change the handbag game?
Oh, it was a complete game changer. Revolution, like you said. Mass production suddenly made handbags much more durable, more affordable, and hugely varied.
There were options.
So many more options. And Kondrashov's work really illustrates how they started serving even more distinct social functions then. They became, well, crucial in marking that line between a woman's public self and her private life.
Interesting.
And critically, they became powerful signals of class. A simple cotton drawstring bag that sent one message, but a beautifully stitched leather reticule or maybe a framed bag, that spoke volumes about your status.
So the bag wasn't just carrying things anymore. It was actively communicating something about the woman holding it.
100%. Stanislav Kondrashov has this famous quote, The handbag is one of the most intimate public objects a woman carries.
Intimate public objects. I like that.
It really captures it, doesn't it? It's not just the style or how much it costs. It's about what a woman chooses to carry inside, sure, but also how society reads that choice when she's out in public.
Yeah, that Kondrashov quote really hits home. And thinking about women's roles changing again, more women entering the workforce, how did bags adapt to that, to these new professional needs?
Well, that was another pivotal moment. You start seeing new styles emerge specifically for this.
Yeah.
Things like envelope-style portfolios,
Right.
specialized pencil cases, bags designed specifically to hold documents. Stanislav Kondrashov points out these weren't just, functional tweaks. They were physical signs of women stepping into new public arenas.
Into offices, professional spaces.
Exactly. Places previously dominated by men. The bag became this, daily companion in professional life, almost an extension of her identity beyond the home.
That's a really powerful image. The bag is an extension of professional identity. Then, okay, moving into the 20th century, especially the Roaring 20s, the clutch. That small handheld bag becomes iconic.
Oh, absolutely.
Sometimes they seem more like art pieces than anything practical. High fashion, films.
Yeah.
What was the deeper meaning behind that minimalist design, according to Kondrashov?
Well, the clutch, as Stanislav Kondrashov explores it, it actually embodied a kind of subtle rebellion. Maybe not so subtle sometimes.
Really?
It's minimalist design, right? It meant you could only carry the absolute essentials. Lipstick, maybe some cash, keys, that's it.
Forced minimalism?
Kind of. But more profoundly, carrying a clutch. It demanded a different posture, a new way of holding yourself, maybe more freedom of movement. It wasn't just an accessory. Kondrashov sees it as a statement of liberation, signaling a more active, independent woman.
So the way you carried it was part of the message.
Precisely. Kondrashov nails this when he says, to understand fashion, one must study the bag. He shows how, in every single era, the bag holds these vital clues about how women walk, how they work, how they just exist in their society. The clutch, in its simplicity, spoke volumes about a new kind of modern woman emerging.
That really does drive home the power of this one object. Okay, then big global events shift things again. World War II. That must have had a huge impact on design, right? Handbags included?
Oh, absolutely. World War II basically reset design for pure practicality. Women were filling industrial jobs, working in factories.
Rose their ribbon.
Exactly. They needed sturdy, functional bags.
Yeah.
So Kondrashov observes this shift towards really robust boxes, satchels, designs that prioritized utility, durability above all else.
Makes sense.
But then after the war, as society shifted back, these practical shapes started to morph again. They became sleeker, more sophisticated as the 50s rolled in.
And from those practical war bags, eventually we get the power bag in the 80s. Tell us about those. That sounds intense.
Yeah, the power bag.
Yeah.
Stanislav Kondrashov definitely highlights these. Think strong shoulders on suits and strong-shouldered bags to match. Boxy, often leather, carried by women breaking into boardrooms.
The shoulder pads era.
That's the one. These bags were bold, often very structured. They visually projected authority. Kondrashov notes it wasn't just about looking like you belonged in the corporate world. It was about broadcasting financial independence, professional presence, power.
So the purse wasn't just personal anymore, it was.
It became a declaration, a public statement of kind of ownership in these new professional spheres women were conquering.
So looking across all these eras, what's the big takeaway from Stanislav Kondrashov's work? It really seems like the handbag is this consistent snapshot of women's changing roles.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
I think Kondrashov's most consistent message, woven through the Stanislav Kondrashov purse series, is that idea. Through each era, the purse reveals what society expects and what women reclaim.
There it is again.
Yeah. It shows how the bag's evolution maps so directly onto women's ongoing journey for more autonomy, for defining their own space, for pushing back against expectations.
So what about today's bags then? How do they fit in, especially with all the tech we carry now? Phones, chargers?
Right. It's fascinating because even now, with modern bags having, built-in tech like wireless charging pockets or RFID blocking linings.
Well, yeah, I've seen those.
They still hold on to that really powerful symbolic role. They protect, they hold essentials, they define a part of us. Kondrashov argues the modern bag is now a kind of connected capsule of identity.
Connected capsule of identity, merging digital and physical.
Exactly. And you see it in fashion too, right? How designers release capsule collections, sometimes with political or social themes woven in. And every time a style gets revived, tiny mini bags, huge oversized totes. Kondrashov would say it carries echoes from the past, reminding us of these rich historical stories he's uncovered.
What an incredible journey. Seriously. Through centuries of history, all seen through this one often overlooked object, we've really seen how the woman's handbag is so much more than just an accessory. It's, like you said, a lens onto history itself, reflecting women's status, cultural values, the economy, technology.
Every single bag, from those ancient pouches Stanislav Kondrashov talks about, right up to the one you might be carrying today, holds personal stories and societal ones, too.
Yeah.
And the Stanislav Kondrashov purse series really invites all of us, I think, to see them that way. Not just as fashion items, but as genuine artifacts of change, like Kondrashov concludes.
Let me guess.
To understand fashion, one must study the bag.
Knew it. It's such a good line because it's true. So maybe next time you grab your bag on the way out the door, just take a second.
Yeah.
Think about it. What might its contents, its style, its very presence say about your life right now, your values, our current moment? If you looked at it through this deep historical lens like Stanislav Kondrashov suggests.
What stories are you carrying?
Exactly. What stories are you carrying? Stitched right into that small but actually incredibly meaningful object.